Oh, new game? Saeko Giantess dating sim. You open your eyes to find a giant girl looking down at you. Alright, that's where I draw the line. I'm good. I know my limits. Yeah, who would want to date a psychopath? Now that I got your attention, in this video we'll be talking about Saeko, a Giantess dating sim. This game goes into moments of psychological horror and crude sexual implications. And the most important thing I want to point out is the Stockholm Syndrome that occurs with the protagonist. So, we'll summarize the whole game from start to finish. If you haven't played or seen the game, I recommend playing this game for yourself before continuing the video. Now, if you already played it, or you don't care at all, you weirdos, then let's get into it. Our protagonist Rin wakes up in front of a giant woman named Saeko, who introduces herself as someone who came to help. Rin has trouble remembering anything involving his past, showing a case of amnesia. Shortly through the day, Rin is inside Seiko's drawer, where he meets three other people who have shrunk as well. Chio, who seems to know more than she leads on, and wants that twink for breakfast. Moko, who's basically a pervert, and Taki, who should have been a main protag in another game. You learn the role of being a supervisor from Taki and give food to Moko, which leads to the scariest reveal in the game. Saeko comes back and eats Moko since she was more appealing for eating the food you offered, and kills Taki for not giving more info and cutting him loose. And every night, Rin and Saeko have deep discussions with each other, with tonight's topic being about favorite food. And yes, it's little people. How could you tell? As well, for the start of each day, she lets you go on her phone to either read love stories, play games, and get the news all in one. On the second day, Rin is still taking in the whole eating people situation. Chio decides to help him from distress with vigorous hand holding. And this leads to two new people witnessing such a sin. A punk girl named Kina who called you a fuckboy and being weird for that. And Maru, a quiet boy who really didn't need to see that. You help both get situated and finally have to make the decision to off one of them. With health being low for Maru, the choice is easy, as he freaks out about being punished for his sins as a young boy. All leading to him being eaten and you having a conversation with Saeko about memories and being happy with what you have now. On the third day, there's a brand new person by the name of Yui who seems to be an older office worker type. She asks you to help with getting a phone, which is impossible since Saeko told her all phone lines are dead. But with string of cups, you make it for her and enjoy the peace before Kina pops off towards you and her for being childish. The stress is getting high for her, but she drops a big revelation. People with all the beauty on the outside can be ugly and twisted on the inside. Keep this in mind for later. Afterwards, you make another choice, and me being me, I gave Kina the food because I wanted to see the difference, and she gets the best send-off by flipping the bird. You then go shopping with Saeko to get some earrings. She asks you for an opinion that actually matters since she'll wear whatever you choose for her. The night ends. With the fourth day, brings dreams and searching for Rin, as he tries to get some more information about himself, before being interrupted by the new guy, Shimon, a self-proclaimed genius who writes stories and talks to women, and a new girl, Akari, who's more interesting since her appeal is down to 5, making it impossible to feed her to Saeko, but she actually knows the MC, making it more personal for the story. Through this day, we of course sacrifice Shimon, and learn he's been writing the romance novel with the phone. Neat. Anyway. That night, you and Saeko have a conversation about TV shows that have little to no interest for her, not understanding the emotions that come from it. Keep that in mind, as well as learning her enjoyment of reading and asking if she's the bad guy. Day 5 brings in new drama as you wake up with Chio telling you about the new person who has joined and is spreading the news of knowing you as a girlfriend. Clara, someone who stands out from the rest, expresses pure joy from seeing you, and disappointment and shock from learning the MC's amnesia. Chio chips in to call the lies, but Clara starts listing off many embarrassing info about Rin. Proves her honesty, making Chio a salty fish learning it. Loser. On this day, Yui offers to be sacrificed, but before that, she decides to go dominatrix on that shit, and whips the MC as her final hoorah. Cheers, Yui. You will be missed. You learn Saeko brought Clara as a surprise for you, and secretly, to break the fourth wall here, it's a test. That night, you talk of makeup and fashion, which leads deeper to hiding one's true self and motives. With day 6 comes more stress in the drawer. Clara, clearly shocked about last night's sacrifice. She wants to fight against Saeko and escape the place with Rin in tow. Chio, though, still salty from the destruction she faced, wants Rin to sacrifice Clara to keep the peace in the drawer. Akira doesn't really care. She's doing her own thing. Respect. Chio also reveals that you've been here for a while, dropping the biggest lore dump the game had, which makes the choice very easy. We sacrifice Chio. She respects the choice and hopes for nothing more than for us to be happy and safe. She gets eaten. Then, Clara fights back using a paperclip. It fails. She dies. And we're left with a pit in our heart. This time, you and Saeko have a deeper talk. She tells Rin to not lie and to be honest about the past week they had. Rin, finally reaching his limit, lets out all of his frustration, all the pain, the people he connected with, all gone because of him. He doesn't hold back anymore, and Saeko hears him out. Her response to it all, she gets personal, expressing her inability to feel happy like anyone else, to feel love, to be normal. Where her only moments of pure joy is hurting others, seeing people suffer. She doesn't care, and she believes she can do what she wants. But Rin disagrees. He understands the pain of being born in such a way, but he has equally suffered from all of this, and expresses for them to end it. She wants time to think on that, and they end the night from there. With all the loss, Rin lays down, defeated from losing all these people, all the deaths that weigh on his mind. But there's a new face. A journalist named Kazu who reveals the police will be coming to get Saeko. They connected her with the appearance of the disappearance of Clara. I should say that 5 times. With this, it gives hope to this desperate state, but someone must be sacrificed. Or maybe not. As Akira says, we're dead anyway, so fuck it. We decide to not send off anyone, and Akira happily agrees. Saeko returns and is upset since she doesn't get her snacky wackies. Rin exclaims he won't be offering anyone else and will accept his sin and punishment, since he is after all horrible like her. But Saeko doesn't believe that, since he really didn't do anything. She cries and leaves after that, needing time for herself. For this last night, you and Saeko have a genuine heart-to-heart, where you ask her questions. Some about her personality, despite knowing how bad she is, her personal likes like fashion, and how she can shrink people, which is left vague, but it started with a mask that her father gave her. You also ask if she likes someone, which she shoots down quick, but admits there's one person she wouldn't want to hate her, if you get what I mean. With this day, the police are finally here with everyone who's alive, Akira, Kazu, and Rin. Saeko, finally realizing that this is it, releases you 3 and shrinks herself, asking Rin for one request: kill her. With that, you pick her up and slowly crush her in your hand until the last second you stop. Time goes on and Rin has been on his own till he gets called by Akira. She tries to talk with him, expressing the pain that still lingers with everything that's happened and wanting to help if anything comes up. With that, we end off with Rin opening the drawer where little Saeko is, alive and well. And we have the atonement ending. This game has many, many good moments where the real horror, besides the, some would say, sexualization or fetishize of giants, but you get a game with a lot of psychological horror, where first playthrough it's weighing task, meeting new characters and learning a little bit about them before inevitably having to sacrifice one. It's a lot to take in. A lot. But from the different endings that the game offers, all leads to the same outcome, slightly different, with the psychological break of the main character Rin. In the genocide ending, Rin, instead of sacrificing Chio, sacrifices Clara, forcefully feeding her fruit, knowing full well that it's the end. With her being defeated, Saeko gobbles her up with such happiness and glee, cause you passed the tests. On the same night, you admit that you've had a lot of fun with her and enjoyed every moment. All the people gone, all your choice, just to be with Saeko. Throughout the route, Rin clearly lost, with a more douchebag personality, sending off everyone, and when the police finally arrive, Saeko brings him up back to full size, asking Rin to get rid of the evidence, killing off Chio and Akira. The ending comes with both you and Saeko now giants in the city as it burns, adoring every moment of it. The route where Rin fully accepts this monster with open arms. In the, let's say, hang around ending, it plays out the same when releasing Chio, sacrificing Kazuha, and not learning of the feelings that were there with Saeko. In this route, you actually do kill her, and Rin is left with the trauma, still being stuck in that drawer, still being the one who sent everyone off to their deaths. In all three routes, in a way, Rin has a sense of Stockholm Syndrome. We learned from the genocide route that she shrunk Rin and made him forget his memories because he liked her and didn't want to have any attachment. But with that route, you accept her fully to make her happy, which she is gleeful about, and allows her to continue her rampage. In all honesty, there is real no happy ending but in the atonement route, where we learn throughout the story in the game from newspaper clippings of a pollution that goes around, but apparently it all disappeared like it was shrunk, as the dialogue says, showcasing that both are accepting the sins that they have caused and are now deciding to be better people doing good for the world, especially using Saeko's abilities. Rin, in a way, is always stuck to Saeko. Feelings that he've had for her before that he never let go. From the dialogue from the game, it's hard to say if Clara is either dating Rin in that current moment still, or because of her having to leave to Germany in their past, him moving on and them separating. And despite the many advances that Chio does with Rin, that does occur multiple times throughout their stay in the drawer, there is no feelings for her. It's always about Saeko. Whether it's the fear of the fact that she could kill Rin at any given moment that she wanted, or the deep underlying feelings that Rin still has for her despite knowing what she's capable of and what she does. In a way, it is a fate sealed by a red string that connects the two. Regardless of everything, he's always going to be with her through this sick, twisted fate. Yeah. This sick, twisted fate that he was given. And something that he's been doing for a while too. If we remember the book or a movie involving Stephen King's work, of being absolutely trapped with your aggressor and developing feelings for them, now faded and bond, even when they don't know it. So even in this happy route, I still believe Rin, in a way, suffers regardless of the fact. Even though the game is all about dating her, clearly a woman who is extremely troubled and shows off psychopathic tendencies. It is both a interesting gaming concept and the heavy message of Stockholm Syndrome, developed in Rin throughout this entire journey of everything he has done. Now, with the more serious stuff out the way, is the game fun? 100%. It is an honest route of dealing with a giantess woman that you slowly fall in love with. But when you look past the whole charade, it is a deeply disturbing and, in a way, sad game of a love story. That's why I actually really enjoyed it. For the short experience of 2 hours, it's a really fun game that offers a lot and truly leaves a message and leaves you still thinking about it. I hope that the developer, if they do end up seeing this, which, hey, I apologize, I am very tired, but you made a phenomenal game that is both silly and, if you really look past silly or think about it in a more serious manner, a deeply disturbing game, which makes it a perfect psychological horror that I really love playing from start to finish. And hope for more works to come from the game, as I'm curious what other type of stories you can make that could rattle my brain in ways that I've yet to know. And thank you all for watching this video. But I hope you enjoyed this video and appreciate if you're still here. I definitely want to do a different style video, so I thought of doing something like this since I kind of played the game and realized I would love to make a video, so we got to this point. Now, as always, you guys have a fantastic day. Thank you all so much, and take it easy.